There's a cruising catamaran for sale right now for $65,000. And if you know anything about boats, that should make you immediately suspicious. Because $65,000 in the catamaran world doesn't get you a boat. It gets you a slightly optimistic dinghy and a dream. So when I saw this listing, I had two immediate thoughts. Either this is the deal of the century, or this thing is held together with hope, zip ties, and the previous owner's bad decisions. So naturally, I had to go take a look, because if this is real, if you can actually get into a cruising catamaran for the price of a used pickup truck, that changes things. That opens doors for people who thought a catamaran was permanently locked behind some sort of six-figure paywall. But there has to be a catch. There's always a catch. This is a PDQ 32, and on paper it doesn't look like it should be this cheap. 32 feet long, about 16 feet wide, draws roughly 2.5 feet of water, which means you can sneak into anchorages that would make a keelboat cry quietly to itself. Displacement is right around 7,200 pounds, which in the cruising world is light enough to be interesting, but not so light that you start questioning your life choices when the wind starts to pipe up. This particular model is an LRC version, which stands for Long Range Cruiser, and that's where things get pretty serious with this boat, because that means instead of outboards hanging off the back of the hulls like an afterthought, you actually get twin inboard diesel engines, Yanmars at that. Reliable, efficient, easy to get parts for, and about as close to will run for 10,000 hours as you can get in the boating world. Fuel capacity typically around 40 to 50 gallons depending on the setup, and water lands somewhere in the same ballpark. Not expedition level stuff here, but absolutely enough for coastal cruising or trips across to the Bahamas or doing the Great Loop without feeling like you're rationing every sip of coffee. And here's where your brain starts to get a little uncomfortable, because none of that sounds like a $65,000 boat. This thing was designed in the 90s by a Canadian company called PDQ, built up in Whitby, Ontario, where they apparently decided that if they were going to build boats, they might as well build them like they expected people to actually use them. What a revolutionary concept, I know. The idea behind PDQ 32 was pretty simple. Take everything people like about big cruising catamarans and shrink it down into something more affordable and more efficient and easier for a couple to handle. Think of it like the sensible hatchback of the sailing world. It's not flashy, it's not trying to impress anybody at the marina, but it's quietly doing everything you actually need it to do on a day-to-day basis. And they didn't cheap out when they built it. They used high-tech foam core, epoxy resins, even carbon fiber in structural areas. This isn't some floppy bargain bin experiment of a catamaran. This is a properly engineered little machine. Owners and the owners groups for these things consistently describe this boat as overbuilt, which in boating terms is like being called reliable in a room full of Italian sports cars. So now we kind of have a problem, because the boat is not junk. Which brings us to the obvious question. What's wrong with this one? Because we need to answer that, but let's take a walk through the boat. The cockpit is one of the first things you'll notice, because it's not a typical open, exposed setup where you're one bad rain squall away from questioning the decision to go cruising in the first place. This has a hardtop, an enclosed feel, almost like a mini pilot house. You're protected, you've got good visibility, and you can sail this thing in rough conditions when other people are getting soaked and pretending they're having fun. Moving around the deck is simple. Wide side decks, low drama, nothing complicated. Up front you've got the trampoline, which is either a great place to relax or a great place to question your balance depending on how the day's going. Then you head inside, and this is where reality gently taps you on the shoulder, because yes, this is a catamaran, but it's still a 32-foot catamaran. The hulls are very narrow, single-lane traffic, and they have to be. So you're not walking around like you're in a downtown condo. You're moving through the space like it's a boat, which is exactly what it is. You typically get two cabins, one in each hull, decent privacy, a small but functional galley, and a saloon area that benefits from a surprising amount of light. It works. It's comfortable enough, but it's not trying to be luxurious. This is not a floating Miami apartment. This is a very clever use of space, and it prioritizes function over showing off. Under sail, the 32 is actually pretty lively for what it is. With that relatively light displacement and wide beam, it doesn't need much wind to get it up and moving. You're looking at cruising speeds in the 7 to 10 knot range, which is more than enough to keep things interesting and faster than your friends in their monohull. It's happiest on a reach, like most cruising cats. Downwind, it's stable and easy. Upwind, it's sort of fine. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. Think of it like a Labrador Retriever. It'll do what you ask, but it's not winning any agility competitions. But the real magic here isn't performance, it's comfort. You stay flat, you're stable, you're not heeling over like a monohull trying to convince you that it's all part of the experience. You can put a cup of coffee down on this boat and there's a reasonable chance it'll still be there 5 minutes later. That alone is worth something, particularly if you're an older couple looking for a stable ride to go across the Bahamas. So again, we circle back to the question, why is this boat $65,000? The answer is actually pretty straightforward. First, it's small. In the catamaran world, 32 feet is basically considered a starter boat. Most people shopping for cats are looking at 40 plus because they want space, they want comfort, they want to bring half their house with them. This is a couple's boat, maybe a small family if everybody really likes each other. Second, it's an older boat. It's built in the 90s, and no matter how well something is built, age always drags the price down. Boats don't age like wine, they age like boats. Third, and this is important, it's not particularly sexy. It's practical, it's a bit boxy, it almost looks like McGregor designed it. Or it was designed by someone who deeply cared about function and only slightly about impressing people on Instagram. And that matters because a lot of boat buying decisions are emotional. People want the shiny thing, the sleek thing, the thing that makes strangers at the dock nod approvingly. This is not that boat. This is the boat that quietly leaves the dock, goes sailing, and comes back without any drama. Fourth, limited production. They only made about 50 of this thing, which sounds rare, but in reality it just means there's a smaller market and people specifically have to look for this boat to buy it. And smaller markets tend to mean lower prices. Also harder to sell later if you want to get money out of this boat on the way out. And finally, this is what you might call a thinking person's boat. It doesn't really sell itself on looks or status. It sells itself on logic, on efficiency, on capability per dollar. And that filters out a lot of buyers. So is it a good deal? Honestly, yeah, it really is. Because what you're getting here is a legitimate cruising platform. 2 engines, shallow draft, stable characteristics, enough space to live comfortably if you're realistic about your needs, and the price of a used truck. That's not normal, but it also doesn't mean you found a loophole in the universe. You're not getting a 45-foot lagoon here. You're getting a smaller, older, very intelligently designed boat that makes some very deliberate compromises. And the question isn't whether these compromises exist, it's whether or not you can live with them. Because if you can, this boat makes a lot of sense. If your goal is just to get out there and actually go cruising, to stop talking about it and start doing it, where Lynn and Larry Party said, go small, go simple, go now, this boat makes that happen. It's not going to impress anybody, but it might quietly take you to all the expensive places that you've been dreaming about. At the end of the day, that's kind of the point. What do you guys think? Would you use this boat to go cruising? Or is it just a little bit too small? Or would you rather a monohull at the $65,000 price point? Let me know in the comments, because the mission here at Lady K Sailing has always been to get more people sailing more easily, and I sure couldn't do it without you guys. A big shout out to the patrons who keep this channel rolling for as little as a couple of bucks an episode. You really are getting more people sailing. Thank you so much. To help us, please consider becoming a patron. You get early access to the videos and the group chat with me and everybody else. Until next time, friends, keep the heavy side down, but not too far down. I love you guys.